Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whenever you are listening to us. Welcome to another episode of LDLA Podcast. We are here today with two special guests, but for that, Mr. Enrique is going to make the introduction. Mr. Enrique, hello.
Hello, Juan Camilo. Hello, everybody. Yes, we got an amazing episode, a new one for LDLA podcast. We have, just as Mr. Juan Camilo mentioned, we have two amazing guests. The first one is Miss Jenny, who belongs to Jose Max Leon Bilingual School. We are so happy to have her here. So, Jenny, welcome.
Thank you. I'm really grateful to be here. Actually, this is my first podcast, so I'm like, oh Jesus, what am I gonna say? It's okay. So be easy on me.
All right, thanks for your nation. This is your first one, but maybe not the last. This is your helm. Okay. On our next guest is a really special teacher from the Liceo de los Andes. She's Dadis. Hello, Dadis. How's it going?
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to me be here with you. I'm excited to be here and to tell us about all that conversation on the table. I'm so excited, and motivated too. Welcome to this space. Welcome to this podcast. I suppose that let's go to start.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Hey, you start before starting. No, they're ready. It's their first podcast, but they are ready. Okay, I like that. Okay, as is a tradition, Juan Camilo is in charge to giving us the topic. Juan Camilo, please.
All right, the concept that we're going to work today is a concept in which, or that has existed since we exist. Is something that we don't notice too much, but it is the hands that we use to work, it is the feet that we use to run, it is the heart that beats in us. The topic for today is what it or how could it be the conception of the body in the 21st century. So it is all up to you. You decide how to start. You decide what are the concepts that you need to take into account. So, Miss Jenny, you want to start?
Absolutely. Now that you mention it, well, I feel the conception about the body in today's society, the 21st century, has changed a lot from the one I had when I was born, right? I was born in the 80s, so the body conception was absolutely different from the one we have right now. We were not bombarded by social media as we as teenagers are being exposed to it nowadays, and it is taking as a teacher, I may say, it is taking their souls, right? Social media is, I mean, like erasing everything they are supposed to be, just to be something else, right? And taking into account body conceptions. Well, that conception nowadays seems pretty disturbed right now.
She looks very pessimistic in terms of social media, no?
Absolutely. There is advantages and disadvantages, no? Yes, of course.
So they this.
So I think that the body conception is having a strong connection with the powers of the world, no? Because the nowadays, that the body conception is a handle with different social narrative. With each one people have different positions to say what's seen is okay or not, like ideals body, like beauty, a standard that is a disturbing with all that social connection that we have nowadays to how to represent the conception of the body today. How do you are going to personal perception to know? And then I have a question to you.
Oh
And
my
the
God.
question is, eh, however, you stop to think in how the words can change the perspective of the way that we have a body conceptions.
Oh my God. All right, so I'm supposed to be the host, not the other guest. But anyway, all right, it's a good one. It's a good technique, nah?
Uh-huh.
All right, that's interesting. Well, the thing is that, as Miss Jenny mentioned, I was born in 80s. All right, so I have my strong perception of my body. All right, so I consider that I got a strong character. But the problem is not my character itself. The problem is new generation. All right, where kids or even teenagers or young people, young adults are thinking that the body is just is not totally theirs. It's probably just a fashion object or something like that. In which exactly in which somebody else can decide on the body. All right, which I consider that yeah, social medias and social networks are shaping the concept of body right now. Is like kind of my answer, Juan Camilo.
Yeah, I believe that's something that has made very good the capitalism in terms of consumerism is to show us that we don't buy products, but we are the product.
The product.
That-
You're right.
So as we are the product, we need to shape the product. So we need to be in terms of what the system needs. And if
Exactly.
the system needs a lot of, I don't know if I have,
Exactly.
But some
But
cases,
exactly as you mentioned,
yeah.
capitalism decides. So we have not we are the product, and the products are for selling. So the idea is the idea there in the atmosphere is how I sell myself, how I sell but not myself my ideas, no
Well,
my
they are.
body, because
Mhm.
there are some stereotypes, strong stereotypes that we have to fit it.
exactly.
Absolutely. And I mean, in terms of what you're saying, influencers, right, play a big role in nowadays societies. Um, I wish we could have influencers who are more like into let's debate, let's think about this specific topic, right? But influencers are just focusing more on bodies, what's the trend today, what you should be drinking nowadays, what should buy, what should you shouldn't buy, how you should develop your body, right? And they kind of give you some standards to follow, right? But they're just more focused on how you look.
Actually, your appearance, no? Yeah, is a war between what is acceptable or not. And in the social networks, you know that we have a good influence with around war about what are the decisions that we need to take about the proper thinkings too, about the self-esteem, about the self-talk. And some cases, they are wrong. The most of cases are wrong. No, because they have a ridiculous, for me, a ridiculous promotion about the ideals perfection. And I think that where is the perfection or what is the perfection? No, where we can find out.
What
Yeah.
does it mean to be perfect, right? It's like, is
But
this
you could define it, no? For example, um, you're going to see that these influencers that you talk about, they have I don't know how to call it, the skincare processes. They have their own filters, which is with something in here, something in the eyes. They use a lot of products for the nails, for the skin, for the body. So you can define it according to the superficial terms, no?
Mm.
And I believe that that's the part in which our kids are entering to compare themselves with the person of 20, 25 years that has a lot of money, they
Mhm.
use a lot of bubbles in of the body, exactly, and they have the skincare project process and all of that, and they want to assume that when they see to the mirror, they see the imperfection. That's when the kid broken, and he or she decides that maybe I'm not according to duty, and that's when
And that
everything.
beauty and
eh,
that
What do
acceptable.
you think about those process of how they standardize the beauty processes or the beauty in quotation
Yeah, it's
marks?
like the cosmetic
Exact,
way of seeing life.
exactly. How do you see it?
well, I think
Go ahead, go ahead.
they see it like pre from a pre fake perspective
Right.
because it is I mean when you need to use all this skincare just to make your face or your skin look perfect, which will never happen. You know, we are human. We have pores. How come people nowadays are trying to hide that from your own self if it makes part of your body, right? So I think it is totally misleading. I don't know, maybe misunderstood from many people nowadays. You know, so young people are actually easily influenced
Uh-huh.
by all these standards nowadays, and they are absolutely destroying their own personality,
An
their
identity,
own
yeah.
self, their identity,
Exactly.
right? Because nowadays I have kids like they want to look like these how do you know, comics from Japan. Yes, they want to look exactly like them, and I was like, first, you're not from Japan. You don't have to follow these standards, possible to, right? But it is nowadays with all the surgeries, right? I was impressed by checking out the statistics in terms of getting plastic surgeries right now, and it seems like there are like 70% of the people who are getting surgeries just to change some specific parts of their face
Like
because they
figures.
just want to look exactly like um, AI figures, for example. And we have artificial intelligence playing on kids' minds as well.
That has a name, no? It's called transhumanism, no? The way with technology and and the body is just it's ridiculous how the technology can advance a lot of features of human life, but as well can interfere with some process for which we are not prepared. Ladies, what do you believe about the cosmetic and superficial
I
beauty?
have two opinions, no, and agree with that. I think that we can work to be um, the best version of you, no, but you need to establish some limits. No, I think that we can care yourself. You need to, I don't know, care your health team, your food, because it's about your appearance and it is not wrong. But I think this is absolutely wrong when you have um when you have the position to take to have like another's one, no, when you have to say I'm going to do it or I need to do it because I need to be like this person because this is the beauty concept that I have, but you forget that you are in a proper human, you are there, really you are different environmental situation and position and ideas too. So for that reason I think that yes, you need to be better, you need to use all that things that we can help to be strong, to be in the best version, but you need to take care about what are the limits that you are going to establish in your life. What are the things that you are going to have a permission to do it, what are acceptable or not for you.
All right, all right. All right. So that's interesting. Thank you so much. So you mentioned something interesting, which is technology and AI. All right. So nowadays I've seen like AI create some avatars and people are behind them. Where's your body and where's your identity when you use an avatar? Could be even, it's not about gender. I'm not talking about gender. I'm talking about that you are using another body in another way to hide something yourself because you are an acceptance yourself. I mean, what do you think about it? How you see that? And we are teachers. We are teachers. We are in the middle of new generation, so probably we are not really prepared. But the question is how we see that and how we can, help that the society is not becoming in an avatar.
I see it like the 21st century big issue, we have to deal with. We cannot go against technology. We cannot
No.
go against artificial intelligence. But what we can certainly do is to tell our kids how to deal with it, just to make sure. I mean, this is this is, yes, AI generation, but that's really the perfection you want to follow, or do you want to be authentic to yourself,
That is a good.
right? So if I'm using AI, am I being really authentic? For sure I'm not, right? Maybe I imagine my teenagers using AI just because they want to hide some insecurities.
Uh-huh.
Yes, how they look, maybe they don't like the way their eyes look, they want a different color, or how their cheeks look like, and I don't want this in my body, but and it is also enhancing a disrespectful way to treat our own selves as well, because we're fighting for something that doesn't exist, but we want to get it for ourselves, right? So it's pretty hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. It's difficult.
Tay, you want to share one point from there?
Yeah, about that, how we can help the kids and the guys. No, I think that the best thing or the priority is to teach that we are unique and special. No, that we have some particulars, abilities, capabilities, and appearance too. Because we are different, and we need to try to love and embrace all the difference. No, the idea is not to be the same, not to think in the same, or have the same sense. The idea is to use your personal items, your personal tools to improve yourself. I think this is one of the way that we can, as a teacher, that we can promotion our
Yeah,
students.
promote
No?
acceptance and love too.
Yeah, I
Alright.
believe that is a perspective of Western society in which we divide ourselves in body mind, no? And when you perform it like that, the body is like in a second degree. It doesn't have a lot of importance. How can we transmit that to the kids, or how can we make the position for the body to be in the same level as the mind? Because, well, I believe it's important. Both of them are
Yeah,
important,
but
but it's like just the mind, just the mind. And if
mm,
you're going to see it, even in the jobs, no, in the jobs you have to be the best, you have to put knowledge into your mind, but the body is not very influential, or is not an important tool for you. What do you believe about it?
I think as teachers, we should focus on promoting a more detective mindset in our students, right? To tell them, you know what, you can be critical about this. You have to be responsibly critical to pick what is best for you. If something is causing you damage, yeah, let's say you're scrolling Instagram, how much of that content is making you feel good about yourself and your body?
mhm.
How much of that content you are scrolling is making you feel bad about yourself? So it's simple. If you're feeling bad about yourself, then unfollow. It is as simple as that. Stop scrolling. Turn off your cell phone. Do you really need to consume all that media? You know? So I think if we work from creating a detective mindset or developing, helping our students to create, to develop that kind of mindset in which I can decide what is good for me and what is not good for me, and to stop it and to turn it off and to unfollow something, that would be great for our students. I think we should start doing it.
Yes, another thing to working in the same way like you, I think that as a teachers or as a school, we need to change the narrative. No, we need to change the discourse because all the time we have reproducing the same. Every since as adults too. No, we are going to love to that mistakes or errors, but I think that we need to teach our students to what is the most important thing. No, what is the most relevant things nowadays? What are your objectives, your purpose?
Mm.
No, what is there a special design that you are be here on the hair, and what we are going to do to use it there? No, obviously we need to work as the connection with the body and your mind, but I think that our job is to increase the self-esteem of the students.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I want to make a question now that we're going to get a little spicy here,
Okay.
because I know that you have it. I don't want to take this to the gender conversation because I believe it would be like to direct it. But I believe that in nowadays society we can perceive the use of the body just as a tool or as an object for the system that you are describing. All those things that the kids and the kids are scrolling is the use of the tool as we have it here, but for the system to feel ourselves less secure, less confident, and that works perfect for the system because we are doing. The question would be, how can we pass to stop being perceived as an object? I know that you don't have, or I'm inviting to make it as a gender question, but we need to be realistic, no?
Of course.
You know that the body is, or it has had those kind of perspective as an object, as an instrument.
Mm.
Um, well, I leave it from there. I leave it from there for you to explain it. So I don't know which of you wants to start.
So I want to say that nowadays, it is not different for boys or girls, right? During the 1980s, it was more focused on women, right? Women were the objects, bodies. Was it?
Yeah.
Nowadays, it seems like it plays for both genders. Yeah, the same. I was actually checking at some National Eating Disorder Association statistics, and they said, for example, that by the age of 13, over 50% of girls and 30% of boys are unhappy with their bodies. So it is not just about women nowadays. And that by the time they get 17, the number jumps to the 78% of boys and girls feeling bad about their bodies. You see? So the the perception of the body being an object is not just focused on women nowadays. Men are actually, yes, it is for all nowadays.
For everyone.
Right? For everyone.
I'm old fashioned. Yes.
Yes.
But
That is,
It's like a competition, no?
yes, absolutely.
To know who is better to others.
all right. What if we include it from there the sexual part of the sexual behavior of the human beings? What happens if we include that part and we change it, but we have the same? What happens with the use of the body as an object and more an a sexual object? Because we have seen it, or we can check it in songs, in the behavior of man
Oh.
through men, a lot of stuff.
Are
So
you talking about reggaeton? Spap?
I know why that's. I was gonna say diplomacy, but yes, of course.
What's your favorite singer? Okay. I was thinking now in a question, in a perspective, how we can change this. It's very, I can get the idea. Can you repeat it, please?
Okay.
The sexualization
No,
of the body.
yes.
Oh,
As-
so you says.
As an object, about only the object, like a
But what can we do?
romantic object, but also about a sexual object. Yeah, it's what I mentioned, sounds like
But the
that.
question is, what can we do to
What can we do, or if it is true right now, if it doesn't happen, if it happens, and
mostly happen all the time happens?
Oh, he says.
Absolutely. It happens every single day. Actually, when you pay attention to, personally, I teach high school graders,
Junglers, and they love listening to this kind of music. Kind of music. I can't even remember the name of the guy.
but when you pay attention to these lyrics, it seems like, oh, Jesus, this is the objectivation. I don't know how to.
Patient, I believe so.
Objectivation, is it that right
I
word
believe
to say? Some cases of the body, and it is mostly for women.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? They are treated
Men
as,
to them.
as objects,
As
but in the lyrics, right? In the lyrics, as objects, and men as the ones with the power to decide, oh, the masters of
Oh, the-
feel,
Suddenly,
which is absolutely bad for.
Really, that can change the behavior of a woman.
and the culture and a
Yes.
culture itself is not only behavior, it's a culture, right, in which people, younger and younger people, are listening to this kind of music in which I mean, I consider that those lyrics are teaching that girls are only for sex, and men own those bodies.
Yeah.
That is crazy. We have to fight as teachers. We have to fight that kind of behavior, that kind of culture, and that's is what I try to do in my classes and everywhere that I go. Is, hey, ladies, girls, you are the owners of your body, okay, and you are free to decide on your body. All right, and you have and you are, I mean, and you're gonna be somebody not for your body, not only well, not for your body, for your intelligence, for your values, for all you see, for your love, okay, but which is crazy, and I totally, I mean, worry for say something about the next generation.
Of course.
I'm sorry, I have two daughters, and I'm really scared. It's even
Yeah.
really scared about that.
Very stuck.
As a father,
I love
shirt is in here on the table. And when you talking, I was thinking how we can attach that, because the girls and the younger, sorry, love that kind of music. No, they enjoy that gender and like a fate happiness, because some cases they don't know nothing about what happened in the letters of the lyrics with
The lyrics,
song,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. That's
and they are
It's more repetition, no?
yes, it's a repetition too. But if you having a deep with all that message, you can find that they destroy obviously the body conception, and at the same time the mind's perspective of thinking.
And it gets everything faster, no? Like you have to perform the romantic things, no romantic as a
no, there's
task,
other
but
levels.
just sexual shit,
Sexuality.
and it goes fast. You want it? Yes, let's go. That happens.
Oh, there is so yes, some
Now there is not a value in the body, so well,
Absolutely.
it's a very bad conclusion. Miss Jenny, you wanted to say something else?
Yes, I was just thinking about that time when I asked my students from 11th grade 2 years ago, when all this Benito trend became, who Benito is?
Yes, of course.
What's his name?
Is Benito
The
please?
singer.
it was very nice a singer. So she reggaeton singer or something
Yeah, it
like
was a
that.
reggaeton thing.
Bad Bunny? Bad Bunny.
Oh,
Oh, thank you.
Because I was trying to understand.
I just know Bugs Bunny.
just yeah, I mean, me too, no more than that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was trying. I mean, I wanted to ask because I wanted to understand what was their point. I mean, from what perspective
Oof. But
they were thinking of.
do you have the lyrics of in your mind?
I don't. I mean, I was just. I mean, since they started listening to this music every single day during the breaks, they were using this speaker out loud, playing all this music, and I was sometimes paying attention to it, and I was like, "What is this guy saying? And why are my students listening?"
It's in his joy. Just
What's happening the van? And I was once asking to them, and I was like, "Okay, what was the intention to listening to this guy? Have you ever heard or pay attention to
to the
what
lyrics, yeah, the message behind
was
it.
the message for you girls?" Absolutely. And they said, "No, we're just listening to it because
Trendy.
he was becoming like really
Oh,
popular among teenagers."
there's it happens to
There-
me.
That thing, not the lyrics. So you start like dancing, and when you listen, you what I'm dancing? What am I dancing?
Yes, and there are times in which they played their music, and I start listening to them, and I start making funny faces, and they said, "Oops, did you listen to that?" I was like, "Yes, I was listening to what are you gonna do with your thing when you get to a party at Miss like, Michaela, could you please explain this to me?" And they were saying like, actually they were feeling like embarrassed
Yeah, love it.
about me being listening to this,
Yeah.
but they still enjoy it. And I was like, what's the point? And it is just the rhythm.
The
It is
yeah.
because it is a trend, but I think these lyrics are playing on their minds as well, because there's gonna be a psychological effect at the end of everything.
Absolutely.
But there is no reflection, no?
No.
You just listen and just let yourself go. Once you reflect, you said, "Oh, what is he singing? I'm going to put my tongue." No, of course I'm not going to do it. I've heard a lot of stuff. Ladies, you want to say something about the punch?
No, I and agree with all of you. So is so random for me because it's a trend, no? Because and if you thinking this the young girls all the time, it was thinking what is a trend today, what I need to do to be acceptable, why I need to post on my social network because if I don't post anything, and not different girl and the and the random girl and the random boy, and all the time we have to reply different uh, situations or different event that at the end is not to help to improve yourself. No, it's not to making a reflection about what is okay, what we are going to do to be better. It's to only to repetition.
Repetition, yes.
Well, the conception of the body in 21st century is an open topic, and we are learning about that. We are, getting information, and as teacher, we have to continue work on it.
So this physical
I excited it, so the unlearn and okay. Well, we really appreciate to be here. The topic is amazing. We continue working on the LDLA podcast as we have the tradition. We're gonna close with a yes, no question. Juan Camilo is in charge. Be careful, Juan Camilo. Thank you.
Do you listen to reggaeton? No, I'm just kidding. Okay. All that a conclusion to say yes. So that.
Karoji.
Oh my.
All right. Okay. This is yes no question. All right.
Right.
In a superficial way, do you believe that in your mind, according to what you see in your body, do you have vanity in a superficial way?
Another person. Of course, what are you talking about? Who doesn't think it's what they are? I can say that in some cases, no. But where is vanity? I don't know. Is the way
So yes, no question. That's a question of somebody.
I'm doing an answer to your question, but I think that some cases we have some vanity things, no? As the women, all the time in my proper knob, all the time we have to, we always want to be good, want to be have a good appearance, not feel,
Say this is
feel
like it is shy, no? I want to be accepted.
Say yes.
but not for the others.
Say yes.
Persons.
Yes,
They
you are.
were for the
So for us to feel powerful, because there's something more than yes.
Not to be accepted by the world, but to accept yourself. I said it is not a thing. Vanity is not as a thing.
No.
So it is not about superficial stuff. So, Miss Jenny, I assume that is a yes for you.
Yes, of
All right. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So we continue working on this. Bye bye. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye, guy. Was a pleasure.